driving. So where do you walk? It's the middle of the street. We are in Phnom Penh. But first, before we start with the video, here is a little montage of how we got here. Today we are at the bus station in Siem Reap. We are taking the giant Ibis bus to Phnom Penh. The bus ride is supposed to be around 6 hours, but we heard that the buses are kind of wild here and it could be any amount of time. So we will see when we get there. The bus leaves at 8:45 in the morning and we're supposed to get there around 2. We've loaded our baggage underneath the bus, which we're also a little nervous about because we heard on the Siem Reap Phnom Penh route there are a lot of thefts, but we went with the more tourist-oriented bus, so hopefully everything's going to be a-okay. So the bus just left. It's 8:48, which is only 3 minutes after it was supposed to leave. So far, good. The bus is doing a very, very good job. Carson and I liked the bread so much that we ate for breakfast the day we went to Angkor Wat that we're eating it again on the bus.
It was good. It's actually so good. That's all you need. Bread with a little bit of flavor.
In our defense, it is like sweet raisin bread. So, how do you feel about this breakfast, Taylor? Up to your standards. There is also Wi-Fi on this bus that works better than the Wi-Fi in our hotel, so I'm able to stream The Summer I Turned Pretty while we're on the bus. It's insane. They gave out snacks for free, so I got this little bun. Carson got that one.
Little towels. There's a bunch of bus companies because this is super popular, it's only buses in Cambodia, no trains or anything. So there's a ton of bus companies, especially that go from Siem Reap to Phnom Penh, the most popular route. And all of them are dirt cheap, right? Not dirt cheap, 10 bucks. But then there's this one company called Giant Ibis where their value proposition is for $3 extra, right? We won't be a shitty Asian bus company. We'll do 2 stops that we've scheduled. We won't pick up random people on the road. We won't just stop randomly for 30 minutes and smoke on the side of the highway. We'll actually be nice to you. It's gonna be comfy. There's Wi-Fi on the bus. The tourist-friendly company that'll be better than the other one. So we paid the extra $3 just to test it out, and I think it's fun. It's good. Their shirts say safe, reliable, responsible. It's funny.
We have made it to Phnom Penh. Our bus even dropped us off closer than we were expecting it to, which means that we can walk to our hotel. It's only 20 minutes. So we're walking through the streets of Phnom Penh. Carson made the decision to walk through a market even though I said I didn't want to. So I just looked at the ground the whole time.
It's genuinely not bad. All these people talking about animals and meat and all this, not true.
I don't know, but it's not Western people saying there's weird meat things here. The guy at the hotel who has lived here, granted he was from the UK, but he's lived in Cambodia for a very, very long time, said don't look out the window.
Rural.
That's true. Yeah, said don't look out the window because you'll see dogs.
In rural Cambodia.
In rural Cambodia. So I'm just in my head, I'd rather look at the ground than see something I'll never unsee.
Big city.
Okay, welcome back. We are in Phnom Penh, which is the capital city of Cambodia. It is our second city in Cambodia. We went to Siem Reap to see Angkor Wat. So if you haven't seen that video yet, check it out. I will link it above and I'll also link it down below. Unlike the tourism we did in Siem Reap, we have 2 reasons for being in Phnom Penh. The first is that we are waiting for our Vietnam visas to approve. We've ran into a little hiccup and that is what we're dealing with today. So we're here for 10 days until August 15th when we can get our new 3-month visas to Vietnam. The second reason is to do a bit of dark tourism. We are going to learn all about the Civil War and the Khmer Rouge, visit the killing fields and all of the museums. So it's a different vibe than it was when we went to Siem Reap, but it's still very important to learn about a very important aspect of Cambodia's history. It is our first full day in Phnom Penh and we are headed to the Vietnam embassy. It's a 40-minute walk from our hotel. It's around 1 o'clock. We haven't eaten anything yet today, but we need to go deal with our visas. So we decided it's best to just go talk to the people at the embassy, especially because you can't apply for the 3-month tourist visa online at the moment. The Vietnam embassy just happens to be in the same area as the Russian market and a really cool walking street, as well as the Daughters of Cambodia Visitor Center, which is a whole center dedicated to the girls of Cambodia that have fallen victim to sex trafficking. So that is what we're going to be doing in this area after we deal with our visas, because that is priority number 1. We are on our way to the embassy still, and we ran into a market and we found waffles that have coconut in them, and they're 25 cents each, 1,000 real. So 40 minutes later, we've made it to the Vietnam embassy, following the signs to the visa office. Hopefully this goes well. But Who knows? So that went poorly. So like I misread what the visa was saying. You can't get in starting August 15th. You can start applying on August 15th, which is really confusing because they're so new. There's not a ton of resources online about it. And also the resources that are there to help you apply for the visas, it's a lot of third-party websites that will do the visa process for you. So it's really hard to figure out what's real information, what's not. And then I messed up by thinking that starting on August 15th meant that you could go in and you could apply for it. Now you just couldn't enter until August 15th, but you can't apply until August 15th. So we are already locked into 10 days in Phnom Penh to wait for our visas to approve, which was the original plan. And now we probably won't get our visas until around the 18th or 19th. So we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do, but that's the situation right now. We are here now at the Russian markets. They aren't called Russian markets because it's exceptionally Russian. It's because in the 80s, there was a very large portion of the population that were Russian expats, and this is a market that they frequented. So it's basically just a regular market. They've just colloquially named it the Russian market. We are sitting down at a place called The Coffee, which apparently, according to their sign, has the best iced coffee in Phnom Penh, which I feel like everyone says that. Iced coffee in Cambodia, though, is special because they make it with some sort of, like, condensed milk. So I'm excited that I finally get to try some. Carson just got a water.
I feel very sick.
Carson's feeling sick again today.
Hell of a vlog.
This is what it looks like. I don't think I ordered it with the condensed milk. It's still very, very good, but I think the journey continues to find the condensed milk iced coffee. I'm sad I didn't get the right coffee because I was really looking forward to it. And I don't know if I just like ordered it wrong. I said iced coffee and he said with milk and I nodded my head. So maybe I need to be clearer next time. Carson is feeling very sick today. He's been really sick for a very long time. And he's feeling very sick today to his stomach. So we're not gonna go to the Daughters of Cambodia Museum. We're just gonna head right back because we can't be out for that much longer. Yeah, I feel really bad because I haven't gotten sick yet this whole trip. My stomach needed a little bit of adjusting, but it wasn't like that big of a deal. But Carson had a really bad cold and now he's feeling sick to his stomach, so it's not very good. Okay, I'm gonna negotiate for this neck tie. How much to here?
6,000.
6,000 real? Would you do 5,000?
Okay,
5,000?
okay.
All right, let's go. What we're realizing about the tuk-tuk, which makes a lot of just common sense, is it's better when you leave the tourist areas. So we left the Russian market, but also the ones that are hawking you are always going to give you a ridiculous price. So it's better to seek them out on your own and you're gonna get a better deal.
Like this guy was just sitting here waiting, and we just asked him, hey, could you drive us here?
So Cambodia, like I mentioned in my Siem Reap vlog, uses both the US dollar and Cambodian reals. The conversion rate is about 4,000 reals is $1 US. So it's really fun. You can pay with like a combo of both USDs and the reals. That's what the reals look like. And it's really funny because the conversion rate is actually around like 4,100 is 1 USD, but because 100 has so little value, everyone just decided that it's 4,000 to 1 is the conversion rate. So it's really easy to do the math when you're buying things with street vendors. All right, we made it back to the hotel, which is good because Carson's not feeling well. I also feel like we glossed over a bit how well I did bartering for that tuk-tuk, because that was a big deal for me. I used to be very shy. Like I didn't even go to sleepovers, and now look at me, bartering for tuk-tuks in Cambodia. So, are you proud of me, Carson?
Yeah, it's a whole new Hannah. I'm forcing her to be helpful on the streets.
So it is day 2 in Phnom Penh. Day 1 was kind of a bust, didn't count. Carson wasn't feeling very good, and really all we did was go to the Russian market and realize that we had completely messed up our Vietnam visas. So today is the day that we're really starting in Phnom Penh. We are going to be here for probably 14 days instead of the 10 that we had planned because of the whole visa situation. So we have a ton of time on our hands. Today we're headed down to the riverfront, which is a very popular area in Phnom Penh. Every time we get to a new city, we do a couple things to plan out what we're going to do. The first is we look through a bunch of resources online, travel itineraries and other blogs, things like TripAdvisor, to see the main things that we want to do in that area. And then the next thing I do is I map everything in a saved list on Google Maps to see where everything is located and things that are close to each other, things that are close to our hotel. And then from there you can create your own daily itineraries. So we were able to map things, we were able to map activities that we wanted to do that were close together and close to our hotel. And that's why we figured out that today we are going to be doing a big day by the river. We're gonna get some street food. Let me pull up exactly what we're gonna do. And then I keep the lists on my phone in my notes app, and then we also have the map downloaded and the list saved in the Google Maps app. So today we are walking to the riverfront. To in this area there is the Phnom Penh night market, there's the clock of Phnom Penh, the riverfront walkway, which is really nice, and the central market. So that is what is on the docket for today. This riverfront area is along the Mekong River, which is the largest river in Southeast Asia and the primary freshwater source for a lot of countries. It is a really, really important river to the geography of Asia. I remember learning about it in my class, and it flows right through Phnom Penh. It flows through Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, and China. So it is a huge, huge water source in Asia. And we are walking beside it right now. We are getting a lunch before we start and walk by the river, and we're going to David's Noodles, which are handmade noodles. I read about online. It's had a ton of word of mouth advertising. Everyone's saying you have to come here. So we are on our way there right now. So I ordered the vegetable dumpling soup with vegetables, and Carson got the noodle soup with chicken, and we also got Khmer iced tea served in these fun straws. So I'm gonna give it a little test. It's like American iced tea. It's better than American iced tea, but it's not sweet like Canadian iced tea. What do you think, Jason?
Okay, so like it's real tea with ice in it.
David's Noodles is immediately the second best noodles we've had the entire trip. Nothing will beat the Sukumin ramen from Japan, but that place is a must. Everyone online was right. Everyone was talking about it in the expat Reddit, on the regular Phnom Penh Reddit. It's all anyone was saying was that you have to go to David's Noodles. It was $4.50 for a big bowl of noodles. It was so good, and everyone was so nice.
Oh, it's very good. It was a bit expensive for Phnom Penh, of course, but you know what? It was worth it because it was so delicious.
Carson and I are still chasing the $1.75 noodles from Taste of Life we got in Siem Reap. But it was insane. The handmade noodles, it was so cool. So we're decided that we actually are gonna try to go into this Wat. I didn't dress for the Wat though. I have my skirt on, but I don't have my shoulders covered. And I'm nervous. Carson's walking around trying to see if there's somewhere, because usually when you go to the Wat, sometimes they'll offer you like a shawl to put on, which I am hoping is what they're going to offer me, but I don't know. It doesn't look like they are going to offer me a shawl, and Carson's just stopped, which isn't a good sign. We might just have to come back later. Well, we got in. It turns out I don't have to cover my shoulders. She said it was okay. I don't know if that means they're just gonna let me in.
She said it was, she went,
or if
okay,
it's okay.
No worries.
Yeah. So we are okay. I probably won't go inside the temple just because I want to be a little respectful, but the grounds are really pretty. So this is Wat Phnom. which is a big wat near the waterfront, and it has this huge clock in it. And there's also this big area that's commemorating the fact that Cambodia is hosting the 32nd annual Southeast Asia Games this year, which is super exciting for them. Today we're on our way to the central market. Carson saw a lady walking around with these drinks, and it was one for 2,000 real, which is like 50 cents American. So we have no idea what it is, but we're gonna try it. Is it good?
Oh, it's good. What is it? I don't know. It's weird.
Oh yeah, it's good, but it's like, I don't think I've ever tasted that before.
Maybe lemon?
It's fruity. That is like the epitome of these street food cultures though, is that there is a lady that was just walking around holding like 8 of these in her hands, and we just said, how much? I took it right from her. No idea.
It's Carson here. Hannah took over the directions for today and made us miss where we were going, and she got us lost.
Just barely though. Like just a little bit. I was really distracted. I was correcting Carson on his business terminology. He was getting the 3 P's wrong, so I had to set up straight.
I got us a nice fun drink. Hannah got us lost.
So there's an update to the Saga that has spanned multiple vlogs. Trying to get this letter to us. Quick little recap, Carson's parents FedExed it from Calgary to meet us at our hotel in Phuket. We ended up changing hotels because we hated that hotel, but it was still gonna get there in time. It was gonna get there the day before we flew to Siem Reap to Cambodia, and then it got delayed at customs, so we missed it. We had this whole elaborate plan to do like a Grab delivery, get them to pick it up at the old hotel and drive it over to us in Patong. We had this whole big plan. It was delayed with customs at the border, and so it was a day late, and then we were able to reroute it, hold it at the FedEx facility in Phuket, and then reroute it to our hotel in Phnom Penh in Cambodia, and now we finally have it. So that's the final update on this whole saga. Now we have our bank card, which won't charge us exorbitant fees to get money out of the ATMs. So it's the next day. We are headed to the Grand Palace today, but we are back at the restaurant we were at last night for breakfast, and we got ourselves a fruit platter. Look at this exotic fruit platter.
It's only fruits I like a lot. Good choice.
Look at these tiny forks. They give you 2 to eat the little fruit. Look at that. Okay. Pineapple.
Delicious.
Passion fruit has become one of me and Carson's favorite fruits. It looks not very appetizing, but it's so good. You just scoop all this goo out from the inside like that, and then just, it's so good. You kind of gotta take it like a shot a little bit though, because there's seeds. All right, we also got some eggs avocado toast, and we got a banana cake, banana pancake, and we split everything. Now that we've had our super breakfast, we're here at the Grand Palace. It cost $10 US each to get in here, and now we have access to all of the grounds. hiding under this tree that's getting...
It's the only stand for 350
It's pouring rain. We're standing under this tree that's barely sheltering us at all.
Probably 10.
I'm debating just running back to the hotel and getting wet because it's not stopping. But anyways, we walked all the way over to the Royal Palace. We didn't have enough money to get in. So we were like, oh, we'll go back and grab money, and then it started pouring. So now we're stuck out here. I have been really craving Reese's peanut butter cups, but they don't have them here. But today, when we went for our little post-dinner convenience store run, we found these peanut butter chocolate Oreos. So we're gonna try them. This is what they look like. One for Carson, one for me. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed. They're good. They could have been better.
Could have been better.
Behind me is the Royal Palace, which is what we are exploring today. It was built in 1866 and has been occupied by the royal family in Cambodia ever since, except for the period when Cambodia was run by the Khmer Rouge. Since its original creation, nearly all of the buildings have been demolished and reconstructed. So that was the Royal Palace. It was really, really cool. They had a big photo collage at the end with pictures from the re-coronation of the king after the time Cambodia spent under the authority of the Khmer Rouge. So it was really, really cool to see those pictures and how monumental of a day that must have been, especially with all the UN flags. You know, me and the UN, I was very excited to see that. We are exploring the grounds outside of the Royal Palace now. We're going to hit up a Wat. We're going to see the Independence Monument, the statue of Sihanouk, which was the king at the time. And then we are also going to see the Vietnam-Cambodia Friendship Monument, because if you didn't know, the event that ended the Khmer Rouge was that Vietnam actually invaded Cambodia in 1979 and took control of the country. So that is a monument to commemorate the good relationship between the two now.
This is a Bodhi tree that they've planted here with the bones of, seems like a very famous Sri Lankan monk or historical figure. Anyways, the Bodhi tree is very important in Buddhism because the Buddha went and sat under the Bodhi tree in northern India and reached his enlightenment there at last. So it's obviously very important, and the picture, the statue of the Buddha sitting here under it, obviously is very famous.
That took a lot of takes. At any and all statues of the Buddha, people always come and they leave little snacks and offerings for him. they leave offerings for him, and the offerings almost always materialize as snacks. So here we've got some, it looks like tea, maybe a Coke, and a pastry, which is so fun. What a cool aspect of the religion, the like fun offerings. This monument is to honor the friendship between Cambodia and Vietnam now, given the history that they had from the 70s to the 90s. So the genocidal regime of the Khmer Rouge took over from 1975 to 1979. 1979, following the Americans' loss in the War of Vietnam, the Vietnamese army came in and they freed Cambodia of the Khmer Rouge, making them retreat into the jungle and into Thailand. But then Vietnam took over Cambodia and acted as the government, which caused the Khmer Rouge to be recognized as the official government of Cambodia in the eyes of the UN. They maintained their seat. It was just a very intricate and sensitive situation. This monument honors the lives on both sides that were lost during the war, and also the fact that the Vietnamese army was the ones that finally defeated the Khmer Rouge. So behind me is the statue of King Sihanouk. He lived from 1922 until 2012, and he has such an amazing story. He was king during the overthrow by the Khmer Rouge. They didn't kill him and get rid of him like happens to many monarchs during uprisings. Instead, they banished him, and he was able to reunify Cambodia and be reinstated as the king following the downfall of the Khmer Rouge. So this man is a very, very important figure in Cambodia, and he has really seen a lot. This monument is the Independence Monument, and it is commemorating the 1953 independence from French colonization, which was carried out by King Sihanouk. So he was instrumental in the development of what is now Cambodia. So his death must have been very, very sad for the people of Cambodia. That man saw French colonization, he freed them from French control. He saw the uprising of the Khmer Rouge, survived the uprising, and freed Cambodia from Vietnamese control as well. So he has really seen a lot. I was just telling Carson too, this area of Phnom Penh is so nice. Like, sometimes we forget that we just stay in like the bad areas, but this area of Phnom Penh is beautiful. Okay, we're having another authentic Cambodian meal. Carson found this place. It's apparently highly recommended.
Noodle place. They just cook it up basically like street food, and it's all really cheap. We're getting lok chow, which is like an iconic Cambodian noodle dish.
Alright, Carson got ham and beef. Give us a try, Carson. Okay, we accidentally got an insane person amount of food. We both got the noodles, and then we got fried rice and the chive cakes. I'm also nervous about eating with chopsticks on video because I got my first hate comment the other day on the Tokyo vlog, and they said to stop sucking your chopsticks, among other things such as don't come back to Tokyo.
Are you?
Our time in Phnom Penh has been a little bit chaotic because we've spent so long here. So the clips are pretty scattered, which is why I'm going to be narrating a little bit of it. I'm not currently in Phnom Penh. I'm currently on Cat Ba Island in Vietnam. That's the view from behind you. But to make this video easier to understand, and while trying to be respectful to some of the more disturbing sites that we visited, I didn't verbally vlog while we were there, so I'm going to give you some background and share the clips that I took while we were at the killing fields and also the S21 prison. I want to give a content warning for what I'm about to talk about. It is one of the hardest things Carson and I both have ever had to witness. It includes violence against women and children, and talk about what happened during the genocide. So I will leave a timestamp on the screen right now if you want to skip all of that information. There are thought to be 300 killing fields scattering the countryside of Cambodia. These fields were the numerous sites where during the time of the Khmer Rouge regime under Pol Pot's leadership between 1975 and 1999, mass killings took place. Radical communist ideology of the Khmer Rouge forced the relocation of people to rural labor camps, caused mass executions, and the burial of victims in unmarked mass graves, like we saw at the Choang Ek killing fields. The estimated death toll during the time of the Khmer Rouge is between 1.7 and 2.5 million people. That includes Cambodians, and it also includes foreigners that were caught up in this genocide. So this is 1.7 to 2.5 million people out of a population of 8 million people in Cambodia at the time, which is an insane amount of people that suffered at the hands of the Khmer Rouge. Today, these killing fields serve as a reminder of the atrocities that happened during this time and serve as a reminder of the consequences of totalitarianism and stand as a testament to the resilience of the Cambodian people in their quest for healing and remembrance. The Choang Ek killing field is the most trafficked of the many sites of mass graves that were created during the time of the Khmer Rouge due to its proximity to Phnom Penh. It is estimated that over 17,000 innocent people, including men, women, and children, lost their lives here. You can tour the grounds, which includes an audio guide in many different languages for $6 US. This is exactly what we did. We booked a tuk-tuk from our accommodation in Phnom Penh and took the about 20-minute drive out to the killing fields. The first stop of the grounds was the unloading station. This is the location where the truck would unload the prisoners that were being transferred primarily from the S-21 prison to the camp for their execution, which usually happened within the day. As the war progressed, the number of executions that were required on these grounds grew to 300 per day, and that was a number that the guards just weren't able to keep up with, so they had to hold some of the prisoners overnight to be executed the next day. This is the place where the detention center was created, made of wood and steel and kept completely dark so that the prisoners weren't able to see each other while they were waiting for their executions. The next location is the mass graves, where the bodies of the victims were placed following their execution. The land takes on a mound-like shape with deep depressions due to the decomposition of the bodies over time. The location where the bodies were placed is in the depressions in the ground, and these depressions are exacerbated by the release of gas from the decomposing bodies, as well as the effects of rain on the soil, which cause it to shift. It wasn't just bodies that were dumped in these graves. Pieces of clothing and other belongings have been found as well. To this day, pieces of cloth and bone are still resurfacing as the ground shifts, especially with heavy rainfall, and you're instructed not to touch anything that you see, as you may come across some items in the ground during your visit. The next grave is the grave of more than 100 women and children who were found primarily naked. The tree that stands behind the grave is the killing tree, where the executioners would take the children away from their mothers. They would then beat them against the tree as a way to kill them without requiring a bullet or other weapons, and then they would throw their bodies into the mass grave. The mother would follow them second after having to bear witness to what just happened to their child. You can see on this tree, people now use it as a vigil, leaving toys, milk, bracelets wrapped around it. And we left a bracelet that a monk gave to us in one of the Wats in Bangkok as an offering. The last stop is the memorial stupa, where the glass shell contains and displays the skull of thousands of victims that have been recovered from these grounds. They've been carefully analyzed and tagged by ethnicity, whether they were Cambodian or whether they were a foreigner, as well as the cause of death. The stupa is a place where you can pay your respects to those who suffered at the hands of the Khmer Rouge at this location. This was really difficult to see, but it's important to see hard things. There is a lot of power in looking and opposing what you see, so while it may be hard, it's something that you have to do. We just finished at the killing fields, and now we're sitting outside of the S-21 prison, which is now a museum. We're having a bit of a snack before we go in, and you can't record inside the museum, so I will just use whatever clips I can. S-21 is Security Prison 21. It's also known as Chul Sleng, and it was a former high school that was turned into a detention and torture center during the time of the Khmer Rouge. Thousands of innocent Cambodians and foreigners were subjected to torture and inhumane conditions by the regime, whose goal was to extract confessions, often through brutal means, from perceived enemies of the state. Its prisoners included intellectuals, professionals, former government officials, and even Khmer Rouge members that have been suspected of disloyalty. 15,000 prisoners were admitted to the prison, and only 7 are known to have survived, one of which was Van Nath, a Cambodian artist who survived and later documented his experiences in really beautiful but haunting paintings. Those who survived typically had skills that were deemed valuable to the regime, such as painting, mechanics, or administration. Prisoners at S-21 were subjected to horrific conditions. They were kept in cramped, windowless cells, shackled to the floor or walls, and had little access to sanitation facilities. Many were malnourished and suffered from diseases. Because the prison had once been a school, the guards used the facilities available to them as torture methods. For example, prisoners were hung upside down from what were once a monkey bar type structure, and then dunked into water as a way to extract confessions from them. This was captured in a painting by a survivor who witnessed the event. As a result of the torture and the extreme duress, many prisoners at S21 provided false confessions to crimes that they did not commit. These confessions were often used as evidence against them in their trials. The Khmer Rouge meticulously documented the activities at S21 as well. This included taking photographs of prisoners both before and after torture, as well as keeping extensive records of the interrogations and confessions. The headshots taken of the prisoners are now on display as black and white photos in one of the rooms, featuring young boys, old men and women with children sitting on their laps. S21 ceased operations in 1979 when the Khmer Rouge regime was overthrown by the Vietnamese. The prison was discovered by Vietnamese forces during their invasion to free Cambodia, who only found a handful of surviving prisoners. Seeing both of these sites during your time are really important aspects of visiting Cambodia. You can't participate in their culture in Angkor Wat or their beaches without fully understanding their past. And while it's difficult to hear about their genocides, hearing about it will help us learn from it and give us empathy to make sure that it is not likely to happen again. But like one of the survivors said, this wasn't the first genocide and it will not be the last. Now that we've covered the two main parts of our time in Phnom Penh, we can carry on with the rest of the vlog. I just wanted to make sure that I was accurately articulating what we saw and experienced because it's really important aspects of Cambodian culture. Okay, we just finished at the museum, at the Genocide Museum, and Carson found this place online, and people online were saying that it will be the best dumplings you have in your entire life. So I got the dumplings, vegetable dumplings, and they are the best dumplings you'll ever have in your entire life. So I highly recommend. It's called the Chinese Noodle Restaurant. Yeah. Carson got the handmade noodle soup. So I wanted to get a dessert, and we tried to order from the lady across the street, but then she just said no, because we didn't speak any, we weren't able to order in her language, so she said no, she wanted to deal with it, which is fine. But then we found someone across the street that was able to translate for us. So we got this little cup. It's like, it's coconut milk, and it's like random little it's coconut milk, shaved ice, and like jellies. I love it. There's also, trying to pick up the
log.
There's also this like weird log that I love. This is like my favorite dessert ever. Carson does not like it at all.
Let's try the log.
Okay.
You try the log.
I can't try it until the phone.
Yeah, you can talk to you.
Okay.
Try the log.
Well, after that one's not that good. The rest of them are very good. It's kind of like when you order frozen yogurt. You get the coconut milk and the shaved ice, and then they have all these toppings, and we just said give it all to us. All of it. So Carson is in desperate need of a haircut, and he's getting a haircut at this vendor on the street right now. We just saw him on the street corner. And he needs a haircut really badly.
Oh, good.
So I have been in search of those sweet coconut milk cream iced coffees that they have in Cambodia and Vietnam. Haven't been able to find them. But then one day Carson found this, which is called brown sugar. It's like a black tea with the sweet milk and like syrup on the bottom, and it's so good. And it's not coffee, so I'm not doing any drugs. Usually when we're at home, I cut Carson's hair. So this, and I started doing that right when the pandemic started, when the hair salon shut down. So this is like Carson's first professional haircut. He got one for his grad photos, but this is like the second time he's not gotten his hair cut by me in our bathroom with my dad's electric razor. Alright, this is the final result. Final result. A little 360. What do you think, Jason?
I think it's quite good. I think it's one of the better haircuts I've ever got. That guy knows what he's doing.
It looks very, very good. I approve of it. Carson,
That's big.
like I said, I usually cut Carson's hair for two reasons. Reason is twofold. First fold is Carson is cheap and doesn't want to pay for haircuts. Second reason is that usually his haircuts look like poo-poo. So I only trust myself to do it right. But this one looks so good.
It was great and nice and cheap. I gave him 15,000, which is more than I said for a little tip. That's 5 Canadian dollars. Very good deal, better than 30 back home, and I think it was better quality. And it was fun because you had a little view in the mirror, so.
Yeah.
Great.
And that guy, his name was John, and he said he's been doing this for 10 years. So, if you're in Phnom Penh, he's in the exact same spot on the corner of Yukanthor and Leole Street.
And he said that he used to be over here, on that corner, right there. And then the police got mad, so he moved over to here, across the street. He's resilient.
Business practices in Cambodia. Today is August 15th and we just submitted our visas to Vietnam. It's probably the worst thing I've ever done traveling, including like any of the COVID tests that we had to take when we went to Europe. It was by far the worst process. It took us so long to do, and the entire system just didn't work. I'll do a full overview of it. But we now officially both have our visas submitted, so hopefully they come in time. And hopefully we can get to Vietnam with no more hiccups, because I've had enough hiccups. Okay, so one of the popular breakfast foods in Cambodia is like savory porridge, right? So most of the time they come with meat, but we found one on Grab and we're ordering our breakfast on Grab today. This is the picture, okay? Leaves a bit to be desired, but we were like, it's only 1,000 real, which is 25 cents US. So we ordered it and this is what came. Yum. So I don't know what it's gonna taste like. Hopefully it's good, especially because I've just decided to not have anything else. Okay. Oh, it's really bad. Oh, that's not good. All right, we are on our way to Rothana's, our favorite restaurant, for the last time.
No.
Making this. Oh no, we're going for the last time for breakfast. We're gonna be back here for dinner and then tomorrow we go to Vietnam. So this is the end of an era for us.
A long era. Exciting.
We just finished our last breakfast and there's like 2 girls that run Rothana's and they asked for a picture with us because we've been there like twice a day for like just like 3 weeks now, actually. 2 weeks. We've been there every day for over 2 weeks now. So that was very cute. They were all like nervous to ask too.
It's good though because we can ask them.
We are here at the Cambodia post office and we're gonna mail letters back to our parents. You would have already gotten these because I don't want to ruin the surprise. But we're so excited. You're gonna get to see us sending them now.
Hello.
Hi. I just wanted to know if one stamp is enough to send this to Canada.
It's not enough. So you can buy half of 1,000 real.
1,000.
One letter you need to spend 4,000.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You can go to buy more.
Okay, it's perfect. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Can we get 4 more stamps, please? Yeah.
Just 1,000 stamps.
Yeah, enough to send to Canada. Yeah.
Yeah. So do we have 4 of them?
For each letter, yeah. So we had to get more stamps. So we have 2 stamps per letter now. 4,000 real, which is $1 American to send a letter internationally. All right, we got the post box right there. Carson's gonna mail his parents. There's one for his grandma and one for
Here's for Nana and Papa. And for my family at home.
All right, so we've got my parents.
Oh my god.
And we got my grandma. We got some celebratory last day in Cambodia drinks. We went with the classic passion soda, which passion fruit has become quickly like our favorite fruit. It's so good. And this whole drink was $1.25 US. So good deal. Carson's sad because it's our last time here. So we just had our last dinner at Rothana's And as we were getting up to leave, so earlier this morning, she asked us for a picture, and then we came back for dinner, and she like very, very tentatively through her sister, her friend, was like, oh, like she wants to give you a hug goodbye. And she was like hiding in the back, and she gave us a hug and a kiss goodbye. It was so cute.
And we took a photo with her because we told her it was our last day and we were going to Vietnam, so she was very sad. She
Yeah.
said, she was like, oh, I'm gonna cry.
And she said, and they both all said that if we come back to Cambodia, we have to come back. So I'll put the picture on the screen now. We will.
One day we'll make a glorious return to Rothanas.
Yeah, and if you're in Cambodia, you have to go to Rothanas. It's like the highlight of my trip.
That lady was almost up to her knees at one point.